Howdy, everybody. It's Dawn Kelly, and you are listening to the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz Radio. I'm really excited to be back with you this week, first Saturday in May. And I was missing last week because we had a family gathering because my cousin Kiana and her beloved Anton are expecting their first child, and so we all got together to celebrate the imminent birth of baby AJ, and so I had to forego my program. But I'm back this week, and with me I have a very good friend, Kisha Barton. I've known Kisha for a really long time. I would say probably nearly 20 years. If not more. We met when she was president of the Black Public Relations Society here in New York, the New York chapter. But Kisha is managing partner of Global Vision Group International, which is a integrated marketing and PR firm. And I asked her to come here today to talk to us about entrepreneurship. So before we get started, Kisha, how's life, sis?
Wow, life's been quite the roller coaster. I am graduating with my MBA next week, so I'm excited about that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's been quite the year. I must give a ton of credit to my grandmother who recently passed away, and she's been a staple in my life and will continue to be a staple in my life. And through her, I've gained strength, knowledge, and beauty. And so I will continue to live on her legacy. So I'm truly honored to be graduating with my MBA honors.
Wow. And what's the track? What's your MBA in?
So it is a master's in business administration with a specialization in marketing and international marketing.
Oh, that's lovely. So before we get started talking about Global Vision Group, let's talk about how we met. I was an executive at a major financial services firm that I care not to mention. And I tried to use my seat to help all of the diverse media and public relations groups that I could. And we came across the New York chapter of the Black Public Relations Society, of which you were running the show. And I was very, very intrigued by you because, you were younger than me. And it meant a lot to me to see a young brown sister running an organization like that. So tell me about what led you to try and get a position like that, and then once you actually earned the position, what was your goals? What was your objective? What were you trying to prove to yourself and to others through that opportunity?
I feel like I've always been kind of a curious soul. I've always never understood the word no. And as I ventured throughout my career in corporate America, the one thing I noticed in the room is that hardly anyone ever looked like me. It was frightening, it was disheartening, and most importantly, it was unfair. And so my thing was that I had quite a few friends that were in the public relations or communications industry, and they were having the same conversation. And so one day a friend of mine at the time invited me to the BPRS, Black Public Relations Society of New York's meeting, because they were in the process of relaunching. It was an introduction meeting, and it was just from that moment on, I just knew that I had to be involved. I didn't even want the position of presidency. That wasn't my intent when I got in there, but just the feeling of, as I called BPRS home, it felt more than like an organization. It felt like home. It felt like I could come home and talk to family that understood the struggles that I was going through. I could come and talk to people that understood that I may not have the same amount of training that someone else has, but that doesn't stop me from reaching my capabilities. I can talk to people that just understood my day-to-day struggle. What it's like when you're the only person of color in the room, and sometimes your thoughts don't matter. Sometimes your thoughts do matter, but they're not taken into real consideration. And so my purpose for running the Black Public Relations Society was to give an opportunity for us to succeed, for us to learn, for us to feel like we matter. Most importantly, we matter. And so when you attended a Beepers event and you knew, bring a pen and paper, all of our speakers are not here to showboat. They are here to help you get in those seats within that room. They're here to show you that you are not alone. And I must honestly say, of our executive board, Dawn Kelly was one of the most instrumental C-suite execs that never gave a second thought to helping us. And I'm an advocate for, I don't care what level you are within the corporate, landscape, if you're not going to help the people beneath you or underneath you, then just don't help at all. Because it's a hindrance to us, and we need it. I need it. The generation underneath me, they need it. They need to understand what it's like to work within this world, and you are already 6 steps behind. And so Dawn was such an advocate for us. I can call Dawn anytime and say, Dawn, I need a space for a venue. I need guest speakers. I need volunteers. And Dawn's answer was always, okay, let me know what you need and I got it for you. And that's exactly what she would do. And so it blossomed into more than just a partnership for a good cause. It's a friend, because I know if you're going to help me when I'm willing to help other people, I know you'll be able to do the right thing if I need something from you. And from that to this day, if Dawn needs anything, I say thank you, because you helped excel my career. You helped give me back the confidence that I fit within the room, that I am supposed to be within the room, and that I matter if I'm not in the room. So I thank you for that, Dawn. And there are plenty of other people that, as we always say, I call Dawn my vessel. So she carries us to our next destination, but we need to make sure that we also help her get to her next destination. And for that, you will always have that from me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So now at Beepers, tell me, what are some of your, say your top 3 projects or campaigns that you were engaged in that, gave you the most fulfillment?
I think the first one, my top one, was an entertainment PR panel that we had. I had a colleague within the industry approach me one day on the street and was like, hey, Kisha, we need to unify whatever the stigma is between PR folks within the industry, especially women of color. And I said, well, I didn't realize that there was really an issue. And he was like, well, yeah, there is. And we need to solve it. So my team, we gathered together, we put together this full-on A-list of PR publicists and had them come in and talk about the industry, had them talk about how they got there, but most importantly, how do we get you there? And so to me, that was the most important moment within the organization, because someone stood up and said, this is a moment in history to have these heavy hitters on this panel to come in and talk about this industry and to provide the information that they're providing. This is a true moment in time. And so for that, I was very, very thankful for that opportunity.
Is that the one where you had Kierna Mayo and you had...
We had 2, so that's my second one.
Okay.
The first one we had was Simone Smalls,
Okay.
and we had a couple of other panelists. Oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't remember everyone's name.
Okay.
But it was like the Harlem Elite PR team.
Okay.
And it was so nice to see a panel of sisters just doing their thing and all of the clients they've worked with,
Okay.
and to show them we're a team.
Right.
We all work together.
Okay. And so what are some of the other ones?
There was one that I'm quite particularly proud of, is when we did a actual HR, human resource roundtable event. And we actually had leading PR agencies come in and not only just say, this is what we're hiring for, but to actually sit down and look at your resume and engage on that one-on-one conversation with you of what you need to do to make sure you have a seat at the table. So I think that was my next poignant event that we had. And I think the third event was really a kind of pat on the back for me. It was really the opportunity to have just these really great panelists involved in our organization. To us, it's not a matter of the name. It's important of what do you do? What do you bring to the table? So I think amongst all of our events that we hosted, they all provided insight from leaders within the industry that you may not often see. You don't need to be a headliner per se to provide valuable content. And I think that was something that we offered to our members.
Okay, so what's been going on since then? I mean, what have you been doing since you left Beepers? Because I'm sure that that capability and that opportunity catapulted you to new opportunities, right? When you started at Beepers as the president, what was your level? And then when you left Beepers and went on to bigger and better things, what was your level?
So when I started with Beepers, I was on the account management team within an advertising agency. And after leaving Beepers, I stayed at the agency for a little bit longer, and then I transitioned into entrepreneurship. I did go back to the agency life for a little bit, and it was really nice. And now I was in school doing full time studying for my MBA, and also doing my own business. So right now I'm kind of in the entrepreneurship world, which is really, really nice. I've had an opportunity to work with clients that range from within the arts industry, financial, nonprofit. So I've had a vast opportunity to work with some really great clients. And now I'm working with Dawn, which is really, really great, and a couple of other great ladies, Sophia and Blaine. And I just feel like we're the powerhouse marketing and PR agency. So if you haven't contacted us yet, then you might want to.
So yeah, let's move on to that. But before we do that, you're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz TV Radio. I'm Dawn Kelly, and I'm here with Kisha Barton, managing partner of Global Vision Group International. So Kisha, when did you found GVGI?
So I founded GVGI in 2014, and the reason why I picked that name is because it needed to have a meaning that kind of related to my dreams and goals. And all of my dreams and goals were never small. I've always dreamed big. I've always had a vision. And so the way that the business landscape is heading now, everything is kind of transitioning from a local or regional perspective to a global perspective. So no matter what type of business that you offer, you can still have global brand awareness. And so hence why the name, Global Vision Group Internationals, because what we do is beyond the local area. What we do is beyond the small caliber. All of our clients that we work with, we try to position them to have a global approach.
We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with Kisha, and we're going to talk more about entrepreneurship, and we're also going to find out how she nourishes herself before we close the segment for today. So we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. Hi, it's Dawn, and we're back at the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz TV Radio. I'm happy that you've taken the time to join us. I know that the weather has kind of cleared up outside, and it's gotten a little warmer in New York City. I know the sun was out when we came in. And so if you're thirsty, you might want to join. You might want to dial 718-526-2099 or walk into the Nourish Spot at 10705 Guy Arborough Boulevard here in Jamaica, Queens, where we offer you a freezy, frothy smoothie or a nice natural juice blend or a really healthy salad today. And if you can't walk in, excuse me, my pineapple mango tango is really good. If you can't walk in on your own, you can actually dial talk to one of the delivery apps like Grubhub, Seamless, Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash. They'll be happy to pick up something for you. So Kisha, thanks again for coming in. We started, before we went to break, we started talking about Global Vision Group International and you establishing this new business in 2014. So tell me about your actual business and what kind of services are you providing to people that are seeking PR and marketing assistance?
Absolutely. So As Dawn has mentioned, we are a fully integrated marketing and communications agency, Global Vision Group International. And I must say that we have a staff that has over 30 years plus of PR experience, and we specialize within the nonprofit, government, entertainment, healthcare, consumer goods, arts and entertainment industries. Most of our staff has had at least no less than 15 years experience within nonprofit, entertainment, and government, and finance, and healthcare. We've had the opportunity to work with some of the largest brands in the world. As far as Global Vision Group International, and what makes us different is that we seek to distinguish our clients from everyone else. We seek to make sure that their brand messaging aligns with who their target audience is. We seek to make sure that when we're working with our clients, that not only do they understand what their business challenges are and how to solve them, but that we clearly understand what they are and how to solve them in a multifaceted, ever-changing business landscape. The old approach to PR isn't working anymore, and now you have to kind of be an artist for your client and paint the portrait of what it is that they actually need, what's going to help them solve their challenges, what's going to help them to get that return on investment. And so I think with Global Vision Group International is that we make sure that we understand those nuances within our clients' needs, strategies, and structure.
So tell me, I know we had a project just recently. We took on a pro bono client, the Dwyer Cultural Center. They did something really special a week or so ago.
Absolutely, and it was an honor to work with such an historical event. They honored the legendary and iconic Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis with a street naming on 123rd Street in St. Nicholas last week. 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. And what that was a moment in history where we want to continue to share the vision, the efforts, and dedication that, trailblazers like Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis have done.
And Mr. Frazier.
And Mr.
Right?
Frazier. And
Right.
I really want to say thank you to Mr. Frazier, to Minerva Diaz, and the whole entire Dwyer Cultural Center for honoring Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis, because they were more than just entertainers. They paved the way. Their blood, sweat, and tears are the reason that we have a lot of the freedoms that we have today, not just in entertainment, but in general, in society. And so I do thank Mr. Frazier, Clyde Frazier, and Minerva Diaz for their idea of wanting to honor them, because it's more than just about a street. It's continuing a legacy. And I hope that we continue, especially in the times that we're facing now, to honor our legends, to continue to hold on to their goals and visions and make sure that they continue to prosper.
Right.
And more than just a social media post. I mean, actively out there, we're making sure that we are inclusive instead of exclusive.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to thank Ryan and Jennifer for partnering with Minerva and us to make sure that the Dwyer Cultural Center, received the necessary attention that it really needs in order to drum up important funds for the work that they're doing to, as you said, continue the legacy. And the Dwyer Cultural Center, if you guys haven't ever been there, it houses some beautiful art from some diverse artisans, one of which is Miss Minerva Diaz. She's a fabulous artist, and so if you ever get the chance to visit the Dwyer Cultural Center, we actually suggest you go by there.
Absolutely. I mean, the facility is gorgeous. The artwork is phenomenal. It's jaw-dropping. I mean, just the time that you see that they've taken to create every single detail within the artwork is amazing. And I say to you, even if you're not an art supporter, support the Dwyer Cultural Center. Donate. Make the donations, because those type of organizations are what keeps our community together. Those type
And
of,
interesting.
yes,
I mean,
and interesting.
you know, arts are a business engine. People don't know that, but arts are like the linchpin of communities. If communities did not have art and artisans and filmmakers and dancers and painters, how boring and how
Yes.
dull would communities be? Like, we really, really need that. So, I'm a Harlemite. I'm actually born in Harlem Hospital. So the Dwyer and Apollo and the Studio Museum, all of those organizations mean a lot to me, just like the ones here in Queens, because I'm a Queens girl now. But anytime that I could, spend time doing something, using my talents on behalf of institutions in Harlem, I'm going to do that. And I'm glad that Global Vision Group International actually gave me that opportunity. So I thank you for partnering with me and for partnering with Blaine and Minerva to actually get them some necessary coverage, because they definitely needed it.
Absolutely. It was a really great opportunity. And again, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Minerva. Thank you, Dawn, Blaine. But again, I do want to emphasize that programs like these are really important to the community. It's more than just I'm going in to see artwork. It's the home away from home. It's the school away from school. It's the place where you can go and learn to perfect your craft. It's the place where if you're hosting an event, that is the place to host it.
Yeah.
It's more than just an art facility. It's an experience. So enjoy the experience.
Exactly, I agree with that. I
Mhm.
definitely agree with that. So, in a note of transparency, I have to say up front that everybody knows that I own the Nourish spot, which is a healthy food and beverage haven here in Jamaica, Queens. But before I established the Nourish spot, I actually partnered with another girlfriend. Her name is Hanan, and we established Metropolis Group, which is a PR consultancy. And so I'm sure some would say, well, Dawn, you have one. How come you partnering with Kisha and another? Because you know what? There's a lot of people in this world that need the skills that we collectively have. And so when I was sitting home kind of grieving over my former job and not knowing what I wanted to do, my friends reached out to me and they gave me opportunity to still excel and to still use my voice and my skills, and I thank all of them for that. So Metropolis actually, we have a couple of clients, and one of which is Dorinda Walker. She's an author. She wrote a book called Protected by Purpose. And we're actually going to use the Dwyer tomorrow to host a discussion between her and a reporter named Andrea, excuse me, and they're going to talk about her book, and they're going to talk about her struggle, her challenging struggle to live. Okay, she's a child of addicts, and she was able to figure out how to navigate that challenging life, that childhood, to become an award-winning marketer and an author. I have a lot of respect for her, more so, I would tell you, than I had before I read the book. We were friends, we were colleagues. She would tell people that I was her mentor at one time. But I would tell you now, after reading her book, I look at her differently. I see her so much differently. She's a champion, okay? Because not many people could have withstood what she went through and came out on the other side and can still find a smile.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to help her promote her story. But on the flip side, I also got a call from Kisha that said, hey, Dawn, listen, I've got my own company. I need a little bit of help. You think you would come on board and work with me and a couple of other young ladies, and we can go out here and get these clients? And I said, sure enough.
Absolutely.
Because I just think that collaboration is key. And so if we're going to teach anything today about on this program, I think the operative word is collaboration. I think the operative word is integrity. And it's important that when you partner with others, that you keep your word and you do what you say you're going to do and you give your best all the time. And one thing I like about us, Kisha, is our brainstorming sessions. Oh my God.
If you only knew.
Our brainstorming sessions are excellent, because we just throw everything out there, like everything. There's no bad idea. We throw it all out, and then whatever sticks, then we try to kind of, shake it up some more and pull it and turn it. It's sort of like Play-Doh. Anybody ever play with Play-Doh? But you kind of pull it and mold it and pull it and mold it till we come up with the big thing. And so I really appreciate that. But I want to ask you a question. So you are getting your MBA, and you said that your MBA is not only in business administration, but it also has a specialization in marketing. Okay?
International marketing.
International marketing. So tell us a little bit about how long you were in school. Was it really expensive? Because I'm sure there's some people out there listening trying to decide whether or not they should take that next step. They got their BA, they've been working. Do you encourage women and men that are listening, and even children that are listening to us right now, do you encourage them to bite the bullet and spend that extra money and go get an MBA? Do they really need it?
Well, first I want to say, just to bring it back really quickly, congratulations to you and the Metropolis team for tomorrow's event. And I wish to render the best and a successful event tomorrow. So we always collaborate together, and there's whatever she's working on, I support her 150%. So I just want to say congratulations to you guys tomorrow. I know it's going to be a great event. So
thank you.
Absolutely. When it comes to education, I grew up in a very West Indian family that was like, you have free time, go read a book. You don't have nothing to do, go read. Even if you are busy, go read a book. So the words, go read a book, will forever be tattooed on my forehead, thanks to my grandparents. And so I take education very important. It took me a while to get my undergrad. I went to a few schools, a couple of HBCUs, a couple of mainstream schools. Eventually, I got my bachelor's, and then a year ago, I was talking with a friend. And just actually so random. It was a young lady I met on LinkedIn, and one day I was like, "Hey, I'm looking to move to Miami, and I just want to connect with people." And we talked, and then all of a sudden she was telling me she was in this program. I'm like, I can't do an MBA. There's no way. Like, I'm not on that level to do an MBA, and I just didn't think I could do it. And I was talking to her, and she just like, yeah, you can. It's so just do it. Just go ahead and do the paperwork. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll do the paperwork. Not only did I do the paperwork, but I got in. And minus all the tears, for this 1 year intense program, it was totally worth it. And I say to anyone that's ever met me, get your degree. Get that paper. I don't care if you don't ever use it, but you will need it. It is part of the things that hold us 10 steps back. So at least if you have that, it may only be 5 steps back from what it is that you're trying to do, but you never let anyone stop you from getting those last 5 steps and then adding another 5 steps to it. So I say education is important. I say that my MBA, because I'm inquisitive, or you want to say nosy, whatever it is. It gave me
newsy.
I like that newsy.
Yeah.
It gave me an opportunity to just discover things that I truly didn't know about. Discover things within the industry that I'm just like, wow, this is really interesting. So I do encourage anyone and everyone to get their bachelor's, to get their master's. If you want to go on beyond that, that's up to you, but at least have those two, because we're heading into a society where even a bachelor's won't do anything in a couple of years. And unless you're going to be this really, truly successful entrepreneur when you turn like 15, 16, because that seems like that's the way it's heading nowadays, millions and billions of dollars by the time you're 21, I say invest that money and go ahead and get your MBA.
Thank you very much. You're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz TV. I'm Dawn Kelly, host of the Nourish Spot Hour and owner, CEO of the Nourish Spot Incorporated. Oh, I want to share a little bit of information. I think I shared it 2 weeks ago, but this coming Tuesday, at the Microsoft Theater on 42nd Street and 8th Avenue, I believe, the Nourish Spot and 8 other businesses, including LaToya Smith of Brass City Media, we're all going to be honored by the U.S. Small Business Administration during Small Business Week. Let me say that again. Next week is Small Business Week. So if you are a small business, celebrate yourself all next week, okay? Because the U.S. Small Business Administration is going to be celebrating entrepreneurship and small businesses all week, starting with Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock when they honor me and 9 other business owners who are out, 8 other business owners who are out here on the hustle and grind every single day, trying to positively impact other people's lives. Because for the most part, entrepreneurs are in business to help you.
Absolutely.
And to help me. They are out here establishing businesses to help their children and their children's children. It's called establishing a legacy. And I learned about this whole legacy thing from my own family, of course, but even more so from that company that I dare not mention their name right now, because we did a survey about African Americans and their wealth, right? And in that survey, it talked about the fact that people of color don't often establish that legacy to give a leg up to their children and their children's children. So one of the things that I'm glad God has helped me with, and of course the foundation set by my parents, my father worked hard, my mother worked even harder. My mother showed us early on we used to always tease her, but we knew, we would always say that she could get extra out of a penny. Not many people could do that, but my mother could do that, okay? And then she also showed us about real estate. Like my mother, in my opinion, my mother was like one of the first landlords. Like I didn't know about real estate, but my mother was wheeling and dealing, buying houses here, apartments here, and putting people in rental space. So I think that gave my sister and my brother and I, a leg up. It made us think a little bit differently about life, and so we approach money and finances so much different than I think some of my counterparts do.
Well, I think entrepreneurship is something that if you've seen it at such a young age, you really value it. Because I do have a lot of friends that are like, no, I don't want to own my own business. I like working for other people. I just like that consistency. But see, I think entrepreneurship is in our blood. Like from a young age, my grandfather owned a soul food restaurant briefly in Brooklyn. I'm like 10 years old behind the counter at the register, like, what can I get? What would you like to order? But I've had throughout my mom's side of the family entrepreneurs that, put this idea in my head that I've, as a young child, wanted to be an entrepreneur. My uncle, I remember he went to FAMU. He's the reason why my whole family started moving to Florida. He got accepted into FAMU, and he started a transit business in college. Because in Tallahassee, you couldn't get to the main airport, which was Jacksonville, which was 2 hours away. And so he decided to start a bus service that took the kids.
Perfect.
Called Mustang Transit. To the college students to take them to the airport when they were out for the school year. So I've always seen entrepreneurship. I've seen my other uncle that helped start the FAMU credit union and the other credit unions. So entrepreneurship has always been a staple in my family. So it's like you can have your regular 9 to 5, but you gotta have something else, whether it's real estate, which is very big within my family. They own a lot of properties. I'm a little delayed on that part, but I'm watching. So I think that, it's all about, like you said, maintaining a legacy. And, I'm so looking forward to maintaining my grandmother's legacy. Dorothy Willoughby Thomas, you live forever, and your legacy will live forever through me and through the family, and I will make sure that your name is never forgotten. So entrepreneurship is in my blood.
Thank you, Kisha. Mm-hmm. You're watching Caribbean Buzz. You're watching the Nourish Spot Hour on Caribbean Buzz TV. I'm Dawn Kelly, and before we close for the day, it's been a great show. Thank you. I want to ask you a question that I ask all my guests, because this is the Nourish Spot Hour. How do you nourish yourself? How do you keep yourself going as an individual that's in school? I know you have a little part-time, a little side hustle that you manage, Global Vision Group. I know you got something else on the horizon. So what do you do to nourish yourself, to keep yourself, raring and ready to go and accomplish those tasks and smash those goals?
I think most importantly, it's eating healthy. I used to be very bad with my eating habits, and in the last couple of years, I've changed that. And honestly, I must say I have to thank my friend Dawn, who I drive hella far just to get her food. I think food and education of food is very important, and I know that you've given me a lot of good information about health, and I'm in the process right now, losing weight, maintaining my health, and I really appreciate all the advice that you give me on food and what's the proper nutrients and what I should be eating. Most importantly, I thank you for this food. Like, I come across the bridge, I'm like, where's my wraps, where's my smoothies, where's my make me feel better, where's my get up in the morning. So I do feel like if you haven't been to the Nourish spot, you need to get there, because it does more than just nourish your stomach. It nourishes the mind, the soul, the body. So I get my nourishment from the Nourish spot.
Thank you very much. And again, I want to remind you guys, the Nourish spot is open Monday through Saturday. We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 7 p.m. We're open Saturdays, 10 to 7 p.m. We're located 10705 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard. Our phone number is 718-526-2099. You can follow us on social media, and I really, really, really encourage you to follow us on social media, because I post community news alerts and community service alerts, as well as updates on if we need to close early or open later. I post those things there, so follow us at The Nourish Spot. That's TheNourishSpot, and that's on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Please follow us and please visit us. Come, let us nourish you. Inside, Southside. I'm Dawn Kelly. This is the Nourish Spot Hour. It's been great speaking to you. Again, come by the Nourish Spot, 10705 Guy R. Brewer Boulevard, Jamaica, New York, 11433. Call us at 718-526-2099. And wait a minute. If you can't walk in, you can contact DoorDash, Seamless, YouTube, Uber Eats, Grubhub, and Postmates, and they'll bring your food right to your door. Thank you very much. I'll see you all next week. This is the Nourish Spot Hour. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Good day.
Bye, everyone.